Hello and welcome. I'm Craig Harrington, and today's topic is taking from the poor to give to the rich. On April 10th, Time.com ran an article with the audacious title, "More quickly than it began, the banking crisis is over." Many news outlets have been pushing this concept in the past few weeks, particularly investment-focused media. The concept that the banking crisis is over is centered primarily on the recent boastings of Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, and other banking and investment firms, which have seen earnings increase and stock prices rise during the first quarter of 2009. Unfortunately, the gains of the financial sector have nothing to do with strong fundamentals, fiscal responsibility, or revised business models. The banks have been given carte blanche by the Treasury and the Federal Reserve by massive spending programs which are worth well over $1 trillion. The Fed has dropped its lending rates to the lowest sustained levels ever and has backed up the reserves of this nation's financial firms. According to economist Peter Morici, a professor at the University of Maryland, the banks are only making money and seeing gains in their stocks because they have taken so much public funding. The banks want to boast that they are earning profits again, so that they can eventually buy themselves back from the government and reinstate the lavish executive compensation schemes they adore. And the government is allowing them to boast these earnings by taking all of the expenses off of their books. As Morici put it, the Fed took worthless and unmarketable securities from the banks in exchange for good, hard currency. He doesn't specifically address the Treasury, but they are doing essentially the exact same thing. Of course, Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, and others are making money. They are allowed to keep the profits while the rest of us pay for the operations of the company. We pay their executives. We pay their professional salaries. We back up their empty reserves, and they get to enjoy the stability we give them. The government's bailout policy was a farce from the start. Everyone knew that this would simply be a redistribution of wealth from the poor to the rich. Despite the angry tirades of conservative commentators who argued against Obama's idea of spreading the wealth around, the continuation of Bush administration bailout policies have had the absolute opposite effect. All of these funding programs for the banks are being financed on deficit and will come out of the pockets of retirees, working Americans, and worst of all, the next generations. The government should be getting the profits from the banks, not letting the banks hoard it while we foot their bills. On behalf of concerned citizens, I'm Craig Harrington. For more on this and other related topics, please log on to economyincrisis.org.
Wake up, America! Open up your eyes! Wake up, America! Wake up!
Produced by economyincrisis.org.